particular thing and your VMware will be running on your system. So here you can see if I go to my downloads, I have your VMware workstation, right? Application over here. I will simply open this thing. And you might also see that when you have downloaded that Kali file, it will be in 7-zip format, right? So we have to unzip this particular file also. So first what we'll do, first we will install your VMware and then we will work on your Kali file. So just give it a sec. I have pasted the license key in the chat. Again, I'm pasting it. Those who are new, they can use this thing. Till this particular thing is installing, what I will do in the meantime, I will unzip your Kali Linux file, right? You can see it over here. When we downloaded your Kali file, it is in 7-zip format. So what I will do, I will right click it and I will unzip this particular thing. I will extract the files. Okay, it is taking some time. So what I will do, right? If the installation of your VMware is already completed on your system, you will see that it will look something like this, right? Right now on my system, I have Workstation 16 Pro, and on this particular virtual instant, we are installing your 17, right? I'm showcasing you. So this is how it will look like. You will get option to create a new virtual machine, open a virtual machine, or connect to a remote server, right? So on this particular thing, we will be installing your Kali and we will be using your Kali instance on your VMware. So let's see if this thing has completed.
Yes, actually, my computer requires a restart, so I'm restalling it. Restarting it for one of this VMware.
Okay,
Let
no
me know,
problem. Right.
right?
Yeah, I will give you 2 minutes. No problem.
Sure, sure. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so whenever you will download your VMware, it will require a restart. So I'm quickly giving it a restart. So those who are new, I'm again pasting the product key in the chat. This is the license key for your VMware. So I will show you that once you unzip your Kali Linux file, how it will look like, right? So all you have to do, right? This is the extracted folder of your VMware for your Kali Linux. So what you will do, you will open this particular file. I'm marking it. You will open this file. The one with the 3 file symbols. It will look something like this. You have to open this file, your VMware workstation. Okay. You have to open this particular file with your VMware workstation, and automatically all the configurations which are preset for your Kali Linux will be present in your VMware. We don't have to make changes in that particular configurations for your Kali Linux. Automatically, everything is present around these files. So let me show you. If I open this thing, open with, right, you can see it is directly opening with your VMware for me. So I will open this thing, and here you will see, you will get something like this. Okay, and at the top you will see, you will get the option to start your machine. Here you will be getting option to start. Okay, if you are getting a dialog something like copy all the files, right, if you are getting a dialog, so simply press yes. Okay, give the command yes if you are getting a option something like copy the files from your folder. So let's see if Windows 10 is updated. Here you can see. So let's see, we have VMware. I will showcase you in this particular thing only. To get your Kali on your VMware, what you have to do? You have to open the extracted folder of your Kali Linux, and you have to open this particular file. Let me show you which one. This is your VMware installation process. I have to allocate more memory to this Windows 10 virtual machine, right? That is why it is loading very slow, right? Because right now I have only given 4 GB of RAM to this thing. So I have to upgrade it to 8. Okay. Those who have completed the installation, what they have to do, they have to open this file, your VMX file, size will be around 3 KB in your VMware. Open this file with your VMware. Till it is loading, right, I will show you that how your Kali will look like. So once you start, the by default password for your Kali machine will be Kali and Kali. Okay. The username by default will be Kali, and your password will also be your Kali. So as soon as you type your username and password, you will see something like click this. This is the dashboard. At the top, you will see there are multiple options, right? The top left option for your applications, here you will see all the applications that are pre-installed in this particular operating system, right? With respect to different categories, right? For information gathering, we have these tools pre-installed for vulnerability analysis, password attacks, sniffing and spoofing, forensics, right? So these tools are already present in your Kali Linux. Then if we move forward here, you will see we have a browser, that is your Firefox, and we have your terminal. Okay, this is the place where we will be working a lot. Okay, this is the place where we'll be working a lot. So if you are new to Kali Linux, what we will do, we will learn basic commands like how to create a file, how to delete a file, how to copy the file, how to edit the file, how to change directories, how you can look information around a particular directory, right? We will learn these things so that you can get a basic idea that how you can play around in your Kali Linux. And moving forward, when we will be working in your Kali environment a lot, you will also get comfortable with the commands that we will be using during our attacking phase, right? During our exploitation phase. So let's see, Windows 10 is ready. Yep. Here you can see I'm getting option of license. So what I will do, I will paste the license key over here and finish. Now, if we start your VMware workstation, you will see it will look something like this. So here you will see you are getting option of create new virtual, open a virtual machine, connect to a remote server. So what we will do,
First, 1 minute. Actually, oh, I think you have connected two screens and we are able to see only one screen.
no, I think my screen is properly visible to you. Are you seeing this particular
Yes,
dialog software update?
yes, we are seeing the this one.
Yep. This one is your
Okay.
workstation 17 only. Okay. So what we will do, simply open this particular file, your Kali Linux VMX file, size is around 3 KB. Open this thing with your VMware workstation. And automatically you will see your Kali is present in your VMware. So power on your virtual machine by default, your username and password is Kali and Kali only. So you're getting, do you want to get the degraded performance? Do you want to continue? I'm working it okay. See, here you can see I'm getting a problem, right? Because of the configurations, because for my Windows 10, I have not given enough memory allocation which can run your Kali Linux. Here you can see the virtual machine is configured to run with 4 CPUs, but my Windows 10 is only running with 2 CPUs, right? So these are the changes that I have to make in this time. But this was just for the demo, right? That how you will be installing your Kali on your VMware. I already have it on my base machine. So once you start, it will look something like this, and we will play with some commands on your terminal so that we can get a good idea that how we can work around with your Kali Linux. Now here you can see that right now I'm using my terminal as Kali user. Okay, I'm using my terminal as a username called Kali. So I will be having very limited privilege, right? Because I'm not using this particular terminal as a root, right? So I will have only the permissions that are allocated to this particular Kali. So first what I will do, I will change my user to root so that we can get maximum privileges around this particular terminal. So to change your user, the first command I'm using is sudo su. Okay, sudo space su. One more thing, see, whenever you are seeing something in green color, okay, it means you are using the correct commands. Okay, if you see something in red color, it means that command is not available for your terminal. Okay, so it's a good idea that when we are using commands, we can get to know that whether we are using the correct command or not, right? So if you see something in green, it means that command can be ran on this particular terminal. So I will write sudo su and press enter. Here you can see I need to enter the password for Kali, which is your Kali. And now I got access to this terminal as a root user. Okay, I got access to this terminal as a root user. And right now I am in this particular directory /home/Kali. This is my current directory. So what we will do, we will create a column. Just a sec. Where we will be writing our basic commands. Okay, here you can see. So yesterday we discussed these things. So in this particular node sections, I will be adding the commands with respect to your Kali. Before this thing, let's do one thing. Let's update and upgrade our machine, right? Because we want that whatever tools are present on our machine, it should be with the latest versions, right? So what we will do, we will update and upgrade the machine. So over the terminal, my first command that I will use is apt get update. Okay, apt-get space update. So what it will do, it will get me all the updates with respect to the tools that are present on my system. So here you can see I'm getting all the updates. So first command that we have used is first we change the user with the help of command sudo su. Then I have used the command apt-get update. Okay, I've used the command apt-get update. What it is doing, it is getting me updates. So this thing can take time. Once your updates are completed, next command you will be using is apt-get upgrade. Okay, so whatever updates we got, we will upgrade those things. So this is the second command we will be using. So first we will get the updates. Once your updates are completed, you will upgrade those things. Okay, here you can see I got the updates. Next command I will be using is apt-get upgrade. Okay, here you will get an option. Do you want to continue? Yes, we want to continue with the upgrades, and your upgrades will be on the way. So again, this thing can take time depending on your internet speed. So for now, I will minimize this particular thing. And I will give you guys 2 minutes to run these two commands on your terminal for your Kali machine. First is update, second is upgrade. I'm giving you guys 2 minutes for this. Okay, now here we can write switch your user to root. Now to check, right now in your Kali, you can see you are getting to know that in which particular directory you are working. Okay, here we are getting the updates, so I will work on the other terminal. So if I change it to your root, here you can see in your Kali that in which particular directory you are working. Okay, but when we are into a system or when we are working on a particular terminal around our target machine, right, at that time chances are there that we might not get this info. So to check that in which directory you are working, our first command is pwd. Okay, pwd stands for present working directory. It will tell you in which particular directory you are working. So here we can say, we can write pwd present working directory. Now, if you want to see what all things are present in this directory, okay, what all folders, what all files are present in this particular /home/Kali directory. So for that, we have a command ls. Very good. Okay, ls will list all the things that are present over here. So here you can see in my directory, these are the things that are present. I have one APK, I have few JPG images, right? I have a pcap file, right? I have few folders over here, few directories over here. Now, sometimes, right, it will not show you all the things, right? So if you want to see more detailed info regarding a particular directory, right, that what all permissions are associated with this particular APK, right? Or with this particular JPG. So what we will do, we will use the command ls space -la. Okay. What we will do, we will use the command ls space -la. It will give you more detailed info regarding the things that are present in your current directory. Okay. So here you can see, I'm getting the permissions also, right? I'm getting that with respect to which particular user this file is associated, what was the date when this particular file was created, right? So right now I'm getting more detailed info regarding the things that are present in my /home/Kali directory. So two very important commands again, which we should know so that we can look what all things are present in a directory. One is ls, one is ls space -la. So we have ls, it will list ls space -la, more detail, info regarding our directory. Okay, this is your ls and ls space -la. Now, if you want to check what all parameters are associated with the particular command, for example, if I want to check with respect to your ls, what all parameters I can use, right? Whether there are more parameters other than -la or not, right? So what I can do, I can write something like man ls. Okay, I can write something like man space your command which you want to check. So it will tell you all the things, all the parameters that are associated with your command ls. Okay, here you can see it is telling me all the parameters that are associated which I can use with the command ls. Okay, other than this, we can also use -h, right? So I will quit this thing. I can also use ls space -h. -h is for help. So I guess we already have a parameter with ls. That is why it is not showing you, right? So we will use this thing with some other one. So one more command we can add over here. Man is for your help to check meters associated to a command. Now, if let's say I need to create a folder, okay, I want to create my own directory in your /home/kali with the name Pentest. Okay, so what we can do, we can use the command mkdir space the name of the directory or the name of the folder which you want to give. For example, we are giving Pentest. So to check, to verify whether this particular folder has been created, I will write ls. And here you can see I got a folder, I got a directory in your /home/kali with the name Pentest. Okay, so mkdir to create a folder. Mkdir to create a folder. Now, if I want to move into this particular folder, right? If I want to work inside this particular directory, your Pentest. So how I will move that thing? So I will write cd space the directory or the folder I want to work in. That is your Pentest. So now you can see I am inside your Pentest folder. I'm inside your Pentest folder, right? So now my directory has been updated from /home/kali to /home/kali/pentest. So now important thing to remember when we want to switch directories, right? When we want to switch directories, at that time we will be using the command cd space the directory you want to work in, the directory you want to move in. So right now we are inside your pen test and we know that right now only we have created this particular thing. So nothing will be present on this. No files, no folder will be present inside this. So if I type ls, you can see I'm not getting anything because nothing is present. I just created this particular thing right now only. So two commands. One is your cd if you want to change directory. Now let's try to create a file. Okay, let's say I want to create a file with the name let's say pentest.txt. I want to create a txt file in this particular directory. So for that, I will be using the command touch. Okay, I will be using the command touch space your name of the file, whatever name you want to give. For example, I'm using pentest.txt. Okay, so now my file is created. So if I type ls, you can see we got a new file inside our directory with the name pentest.txt. So to create a file, we have the command touch. Touch space your file name to create a file. Now, let's say if I want to edit something inside this particular file, I want to edit some text inside this particular pentest file. So for this, we will be using your editor nano. Okay, nano space file name and your editor will open. Okay, so here if I want to write, let's say if I want to edit something, hi, good morning. Okay, what I'm adding the text hi, good morning in this particular file pentest.txt, and we will save this thing, right? So Control X. Do you want to modify? Yes, and enter. Okay, so now my text hi, good morning has been edited in this particular file. Now, if I want to view the content of this particular file, so for that we have a command cat space your file name. Okay, here you can see the thing which we edited with the help of your nano editor. Hi, good morning. So two commands, cat space the file name to view content of your file, and second was your nano. Now nano, it is acting as a file editor. One more thing to remember, with the help of nano, you can also create a file. Okay, it's not only used just to edit your files, but with the help of nano, you can also create a new file. For example, right now in this particular pentest directory, you can see I only have one file, that is your pentest.txt. So if I want to create a new file, but I don't want to use this particular touch command and I want to edit that thing instantly. So what I will do, I will use nano, let's say morning.txt. Now here you can see automatically my editor has created a new file with the name morning.txt and it has opened this thing. So let's edit here. Hi, how are you? Hi, how are you? So let's exit, Control X, Y, and enter. So now if I type ls, you can see I'm getting two files, morning.txt and pentest.txt. If I check the content that is present inside your morning.txt, cat morning.txt, and here you can see the thing which we have edited. Hi, how are you? So nano can also act as a file creator. Two more commands, right, which we need to remember, right? Very basic commands. If you want to check the user, right, that under which particular user you are working, you are using this particular terminal. So for that, we have a command, who am I? Okay, who am I will tell you the user who is using this particular terminal. So for example, if I write who am I, here you can see I am root. I'm using this particular terminal as a root user. So who am I will tell you the name of your user. Now, if you want to check the user ID, okay, if you want to check the user ID associated with your user, so you can type ID. Okay, you can type ID. ID will tell you that what is the user ID that is associated to your username. Now, here you can see we have user ID 0. So important thing to remember, when we will be doing attacks, we need to get root access so that we can get privilege, maximum privilege. So at that time, our user ID should be 0, because user ID 0 is for root user and your Kali. Okay, user ID 0 is for root in your Kali. If I talk about Windows, for your admin, your user ID will be 500. Okay, for your admin in your Windows environment. So these two important things again to remember, that if you are getting a user ID 0, it means for your Kali Linux, we have root access. If we have having user ID as 500, it means for your Windows environment, we are using that thing as a administrator. Okay, so these two important thing to remember. So I will write it over here in your notes only, that first command is your who am I. Second is your ID. It will give you your user ID. If you are having user ID as 0, it means you are having root access for Kali. If you have user ID as 500, it means you have admin access for your Windows. And these two things will help you a lot whenever we are doing your privilege escalations. Now, if I want to copy something, right? Let's say I want to delete this file or copy this file, right? So what we will do, if let's say right now in this particular directory, I have two files, morning.txt, pentest.txt, but I want to delete, let's say morning.txt. So for that, command is rm. Rm is for remove. Rm space your file name. So morning.txt. And now my file has been removed from this directory. If I do ls, here you can see now I'm only getting one file, that is your pentest.txt. So we have removed your morning.txt file with the command rm. So rm command is to remove. Rm command to remove. Now I'm writing the commands to copy and rename a file, right? For example, if I want to copy a file, so cp is for copy, then your file name space the directory where you want to copy. Okay, so your new directory, this is to copy. If I want to move, process is similar. Command is mv space your file name space the directory where you want to move this particular file. That is for your move. If I want to rename right? If I want to rename my file name, so command is mv only. Mv, your current file name, space your new name, the name which you want to give. That is for your rename. If you want to check the commands which you have used, right? If you want to check the history, command is history. History will tell you the commands that you have used. Uh, One more thing we can add, which is important to us. If you want to check the kernel info of your Kali machine, right? So command is uname space -a. Okay. This thing will tell you the kernel info of that particular machine. So just to showcase you, I will quickly use these commands. So let's clear this thing. Now, right now in my pentest directory, I have one file pentest.txt, right? What I will do, I will first copy this file to your Kali directory. I will copy this txt file to your Kali. So cp space your file name pentest.txt space the directory where you want to copy. So /home/Kali. Okay. Now, how I will move back to my Kali directory? One thing is you write cd space /home/Kali, right? So we will be working on that. But if you want to move one step back, right? Let's say I want to move from Pentest to my Kali. Okay. So I can use the command cd space dot dot cd space dot dot double dots. What it will do, it will move one step back in your present directory. So right now I am in my Kali, and if I check for ls, here you will see I have a file which we copied, that is your pentest.txt. This is for your copy. Move is also similar, right? If I want to move the file, instead of cp, I will be using the command mv. Let's go back to your pentest. Now let's try to rename this thing. Let's try to rename this particular thing, this particular file. So mv, your current name, that is your pentest.txt. Now let's give it a new name, right? So let's say sunday.txt. Today is Sunday, so we will write sunday.txt. If I type ls, you can see the name has been changed from your pentest to your Sunday. So these are the basic commands which we can use around your Kali Linux to do our basic activities, right? To create something, to edit something, to delete something, right? If you want to check what all processes are running, you can write ps. It will tell you what all things are running with their process ID. If I type history, it will tell you the commands which I have used. So here you can see the latest commands which I have used. Your kernel info, if you want to get, uname -a. This is my kernel info for my Kali Linux 5.16 Kali i5 AMD64. This is my kernel info for my Kali Linux. Okay, so these are the basic commands which you should practice in your free time so that you can get a familiar environment in your Kali moving forward when we will be working a lot around your Kali machine. So I won't be giving you much time because to practice this thing right now, because we have very limited time. We only have 1 hour session. So today what you will do after the session, try to use these commands. Try to use these commands and see whether you can create a file or not. You can edit that file, you can delete that file or not. And moving forward, when we will be working a lot in Kali, we will be adding more commands to it. But for now, for your basics, these things are enough to get a familiarity around your Kali environment. Anyone, any questions related to this, right? This is very basic thing. Any kind of questions related to this regarding installation of your Kali or regarding installation of your VMware? Any kind of questions?
No, but I do have a one question, like the last command you have said to get the
Which,
info of kernel info.
yes.
So where we will use this thing, kernel info?
See, when we like, let's say I'm into a machine and I don't know that what is the operating system of that machine, right? At the kernel, what operating system is present. So if I have a terminal over there on that particular machine, at that time I can use this command to check what is the version that is running on that particular machine.
Right, right.
Okay. Because if I get to know the version, I can look it over the internet to check for vulnerabilities around this particular version. Right. For now, for example, if I get to know that, okay, on this particular machine, Kali 5.16.0, Kali i5 is running. So I can simply Google, is there any vulnerabilities around this particular version or not? If there was any previous vulnerabilities, how to exploit those particular things, right? What are the mitigations that we can use? So these kind of informations we can get over internet if I have the version,
Right, right. Thank you.
right? Yep. Okay, so this was basics related to Kali. You should know how to operate these commands so that it will be more easy for you when we will be working a lot in this terminal. Now we have very less time left. So what we'll do, we will simply work with a framework that is your cyber kill chain. For today, we will only work with a single framework that is your cyber kill chain framework. Any idea what is cyber kill chain framework? Ever heard of that? Cyber kill chain. Here, what we try to do, we try to check how a attacker can do a attack. What this particular kill chain will tell us that what are the stages which attacker can work around our system. So for example, from gaining access till getting access to your system, then getting information from your system, then clearing the tracks, right? There are a lot of stages which our attacker have to go through to successfully complete an attack. So what this cyber kill chain will tell you, it will tell you the steps that your attacker will use to finally obtain his objective. Because if I'm doing an attack, I should have a motive. If I don't have a motive, right, it will be very difficult for me to properly do a attack, right? Because I won't have that proper intent to get all the things in a single place so that I can carry forward my attack. So what this particular cyber kill chain methodology will do, it will tell you the attack phases that a attacker can use to do an attack on our system. Basically, this was created to help your security professionals to identify and prevent different malicious intrusions at different phases, right? So if I know that what are the phases in which a attacker can attack, it will be very easy for me as a security professional to apply mitigations at those particular phases. So this particular kill chain is divided into 7 stages. Okay. In 7 stages, this particular kill chain will tell us that how a attacker can successfully complete an attack. So let's draw these things. So let's say this is your stage 1, stage 2, and your stage 7. Okay, we are moving from left to right. First, very important step. Let's say if I want to attack an organization, first very important step will be to collect information about my target, to collect all the information that I can get about my target. So first step here is your reconnaissance. The first phase of your cyber kill chain is your reconnaissance. This basically means your information gathering. This thing means so it can be of two types. One is your passive. Second is your active. Passive means I'm not making a direct contact with my target, and pacifically I'm gathering information without making a direct contact. For example, like I can look over the internet without making contact with the company's website to check for information related to that. I can visit social media, right, to get information about my target. Second is active, when I'm making a direct contact with my target to get information from that particular source. So information gathering can be of your two types, passive and active. Passive, where we are not making a direct contact. Active, where we are making a direct contact. So stage 1, phase 1, gathering information about your target. Stage 2 is your weaponization. Stage 2 is your weaponization. From stage 1, whatever information I have gathered, I will use that information to create a weapon. Weapon basically means your payload. Weapon basically means to create a malicious payload which will help me to get access to my target system. So after gathering information, what I will do, I will create a malicious payload so that I can exploit my target system and get a backdoor entry to that particular system. So second step is creating a weapon. After I created my malicious payload, third step is delivery. I need to find a way so that I can deliver my weapon to my target. I need to find a way to deliver my weapon, which I created in phase 2, to my target. So stage 3 is your delivery. So it can be with the help of some email, it can be with the help of some USB, some pen drive, right? It can be inside a file. I need to find a way so that I can deliver my malicious payload. That is your delivery. Once my payload is delivered to my target system, stage number 4 is your exploitation. Stage number 4 is your exploitation. So in exploitation stage, what we will do? We will exploit the vulnerability that is present on my target system using the payload which we have delivered to my target. And once I have exploited my vulnerability on the target system, stage 5 will be installing your malware. Installing the malware which will give you backdoor access. After exploiting the vulnerability, we will install the malware which will give you backdoor access so that you can get command and control. So that you can get command and control of your system. If I have command and control of your system, I can delete a file, I can retrieve a file, right? I can do data exfiltration. So whatever my objective is, I will obtain that particular thing. And once my objective is obtained, I will clear tracks. Because if I don't clear my tracks as an attacker, anyone can trace me back and they can catch me. So clearing your track is very, very important as an attacker. So these are the 7 phases which are described in your cyber kill chain methodology, that how a attacker can get into your system, obtain his objective and remove its traces. So if we take an example, for example, let's say I have one system which is me, attacker, and another system. This is my target system. This is my target system. So let's work on the stages which we have learned right now. So this is your attacker. This is your target. First is information gathering. First is information gathering. So let's say from internet, I got to know email address of this particular target. From the internet, I got to know the email address of this particular target. So this is my information gathering related to this target for now. Okay, for now. Second stage is creating a weapon. So I created a payload. I created a payload and I created a malware for your backdoor entry. For your backdoor entry. Kind of like your Trojan. Okay, what Trojan will do? Trojan will give you backdoor entry. So in my stage number 2, for weaponization, I created a payload which will help me exploit vulnerabilities that are present at your target, and a malware which will give me backdoor entry. Stage 3 is your delivery. So with the help of this email, which I got from your stage number 1, your reconnaissance, I will deliver this particular payload to my target. So with the help of your email, you will deliver your payload to your target. So this email is containing your payload. Then comes stage number 4, your exploitation. So as soon as this target opens this particular file, which is containing my payload, what we will do with the help of this particular payload, we will exploit with your payload. And once I got to know the vulnerabilities, or once I have initial access to your system, I will install your malware. So once malware is installed, if malware is present over here, if I get my malware on this system, so what this particular malware will do, this malware will help me to create a command and control channel between this machine and my machine. What this particular malware will do, this malware will help me to create a command and control channel between my machine and this machine. Real time example, right? So let's say if we are using any disk, okay, we are using any disk or ultra viewer. So what these two things are doing, this is giving you access to your target system over a RDP connection, right? So similarly, just to remember this thing, just to understand this thing, what command and control is, with the help of this malware, I will get a shell around this target so that I can access this particular system. I can access this particular system. So once I have created a command and control channel, sixth is your command and control, and 7 is your whatever your objective is. Let's say my objective is to delete a file, which I think is very important to that target. So I will simply delete that particular file and clear your tracks and clear your tracks. So these are the 7 stages in which we have described that how a attacker will attack us and obtain his objective. Now, as a security professional, what we can do at each and every stage, we can apply mitigation. Okay, at each and every stage, we can apply mitigation so that it will become very difficult for attacker from move from one phase to another. Okay, for example, in reconnaissance, what I can do, I can make sure that very less or minimal amount of information is present about my organization over the internet, so that attacker cannot use that thing to get into my system. Now, for weaponization, what I can do, I can use your IDS IPS around my network with all the latest signatures of your malware, so that if an attacker is using a malware that is already present around the internet for a very long period of time, my IDS IPS can detect that particular thing. Okay, and I can get an alert regarding that particular thing. Okay, so write this. We can use multiple mitigations at multiple different stages so that it will become very difficult for the attacker to obtain his objective. So this is all about your cyber kill chain methodology. And again, it is very important to remember this thing because a lot of times people can ask you these kind of questions. That what are the phases in cyber kill chain methodology, how you can use this thing as an attacker or as a pen tester, how this thing can benefit you. So it's very important to know this particular part. Any kind of questions related to this particular thing, cyber kill chain methodology? So for today, this will be all, right? Because we are past our time. So two important things that we have learned. One is installation of your VMware and Kali on your VMware. Learning about basic commands that we can use around your Kali. And second thing is your cyber kill chain methodology. Now from next week, we will have our regular timings related to our class so that we can work around your practicals also, right? Our main agenda is to learn everything in a practical approach. So we will try to complete theoretical part, like for example, in your domain one and your phase one, planning and scoping. It's all about theory, that how you will take care of your GRC when you are planning and scoping, how you will, what all things you will use to limit your scope, what all tools you will be using, right? These kind of things. So this particular domain is more of a theoretical part. As we move to your domain 2 and domain 3, information gathering and attack and exploit, there comes your practical approach, that how we can gather information, what all tools we can use to do that thing, how to use that particular tools, how to use that technique, right? So these two things we will be working with your practical approach, and last again creating a report communication plan, your theoretical approach. So next class we will start with your phase number 1, planning and scoping, and let's see if we cover that thing. We will start with your information gathering. So for today this will be all. If you have any kind of questions, you guys can ask. If not, so let's meet next week. Okay then. Bye bye guys, take care. And next week only I will share this particular notes, right? All the notes which we are creating in class, I will share with this with you guys.
Thank you.
Okay, bye bye guys.